Well, welcome to KronExpo 2020. I'm Corey Geiger, your host for today's event, and I serve as an editorial team member for Hoard's Dairyman and the Hay and Forage Grower publications. During the next hour, we are going to discuss the equipment required to complete the entire hay and forage harvesting process, from mowing, tedding, and raking, and then baling and chopping. The equipment brand we're going to talk about is Krone Hay and Forage Equipment. Krone is a 114-year-old family-owned company headquartered in Spella, Germany. Krone focuses specifically on manufacturing hay and forage equipment all around the world. Let's begin by introducing our three product experts from Krone North America. Brent Haynes is product manager, and he'll be talking about the Krone EasyCut in Big M disc mowers and conditioners. Later in our broadcast, he's going to share insight on the Big X forage harvesters. Travis Roberts will be bringing us up to speed on Krone tedders, rakes, and round balers. And Travis just waved to the audience here. And Ryan Hatfield is the product manager who will be telling us about big pack, large square balers. Gentlemen, thank you for being part of the KronExpo 2020 today.
Thanks for having us, Corey.
Good to be here.
Brent, let's start with you. Let's talk about Krone's full line of mowers and conditioners. What are some of the key trends that you're seeing in the market?
Well, Corey, the trends that we're seeing in the market is more people are trying to get more done in less time. It seems like there aren't enough hours in the day. People are covering bigger acres. They're trying to just get more out of their out of the sunshine that they have. And that's why Krone makes a variety of mowers. It's kind of amazing. We make 205 different hay and forage machine models, and 55 of those are mowers. We go from 6'6" all the way up to 36 feet 9 inches in cut.
That's impressive. We have a video here that we can take a deeper look into that equipment. Let's go ahead and roll that video, and Brent, you can tell us a little bit more.
Well, when we start talking about the Krone mower line, we have, like we said before, diversity and it's coupled with simplicity. Be it a pull type mower, be it a 3-point mower, be it a triple mower, be it a self-propelled mower, whatever size operation and what you're trying to accomplish, Krone can fit the bill. Here we see a pull type straight cutter bar mower that has no conditioner. Our drive systems are simple and efficient. We don't utilize any hydraulics or anything like that. Our blade system, it's a quick change blade. It's unique to the Krone. One tool, and you can change those blades whenever they need to be. Safe cut hubs. This is unique to Krone. In the event that you hit an obstacle in the field, we share a couple of roll pins. The module that has been hit elevates to allow the other two to pass. A couple of new roll pins, you're back in business for a couple of dollars instead of half a day of downtime. And our new Smart Cut cutter bar. What we've done there is we've increased the divergence point on the mowing point where you see here in red on the leading edge of the mower, where it comes in to reduce streaking in some specific crops. And then we've also done it on the exit side, so that we make sure we get that razor quality, that lawnmower type cut that the Krone cutter bar is famous for. Here in the red area there, we see the divergence on the exit side. Mowers, we go from like I said, 6'6" up to 36'9". We make three models that are unique to the industry: 13, 16, and 20 feet that are that wide in the field, but they have quick in-wise transport conversion to go down the road at 9 feet wide. So, more and more transportation, there's not a day that goes by where we don't see some kind of an agricultural accident involving a tractor and a car. Combination units, front and rears, we can do that. We can push one and we can pull one. The Krone front mower line is famous for flotation. It's a pulled type cutter bar. And as you can see here, this young man, flotation to follow the variations in the crop where Travis and I were earlier in the week, we were mowing some pretty good hillsides. Triple mowers, For a lot of bigger operations, this is the way to go. They have a large front PTO, large horsepower tractor that they're using for tillage, for planting. Maybe they're using it to tank manure, over the winter, and they can utilize that. We can go up to 30 feet with it. We have options for conditioning of the steel V-tine conditioner that Krone has had for many, many years. We also have Chevron style intermeshing rubber rolls, and then there's no conditioning. And then here in just a second, we'll look at the new exclusive steel M roll, which is in the animation here. And you can see the profile of the roll looks like an M, and that will give multiple in the stem of the crop. It gives you a lot of contact area to ensure conditioning throughout the thing, throughout the crop. You can see the variety of the mowers we have here and the broad sizes, like we were talking earlier with the 10 rear-mounted models, all the way up to the triples. And then we get into the Mac Daddy, the Big M self-propelled. This is the 4th generation of Big M mowers in North America. This is a 450 horse machine. It's 4-wheel drive, independent suspension on all 4 corners, and new to North America this year is 3 equal size windrows on the 36-foot 9-inch cut that's available on the CRI machines. Quick turnaround, quick productivity acres. We're hearing customers that are talking about productivity 40 plus acres an hour, depending on turnaround time. Flotation is all hydraulic, hydro-pneumatic. We've simplified the drive system. You can see here we've got one PTO shaft to drive that mower instead of the belt type configuration we had before. The way our wishbone rear end works on our mower, it gives you a 50-degree crimp angles so that you can make a quick and efficient headland turn when you're trying to get back around. Mower flexibility. We can mow with 1, we can mow with 2, or we can mow with all 3. So we have the ability. So many times our hay fields are not perfectly square, and we've always got that point row, that we need to finish up, and the ability to control each one of those 3 mowers independently is nice when you're trying to finish that field up. The conditioning hoods on the machine are open, is in the animation that we see here. They have the ability to close those doors from the cab, from the operator station, if you want to, and merge all 36-foot into one windrow. Just kind of depends on what you're trying to do. If you're feeding a forage harvester, if you're feeding a big baler, whatever. The operator station, that's one of the most important things on the machine. You want a safe place. You're going to put in an 8 or 10-hour day, and ergonomics was huge in the design of the cab, as was our engine selection. We're using Liebherr engines, which are known around the world for durability in construction and mining applications. And, they Tier 4 final, they kind of tick all the boxes for engines.
Well, thanks, Brent. Before we wrap up this section, please share any new products in the pipeline that our viewers might be interested in.
Well, we have a new series of pull-type mower conditioners that will feature hydro-pneumatic suspension that will utilize an entirely new design, higher capacity, higher clearances, and it'll also incorporate belt mergers in pull-type machines, which was previously we only had 1, now we'll have 4. And they will be also incorporated not only in side pull machines, but center pivot machines as well.
Well, thank you, Brent. I'll tell you one thing. My grandpa would be impressed if he could come back and see today that you could mow 40 acres of hay in an hour. And I'll tell you what, hay cutting has come a long way, and it needs to.
It has.
So after mowing the crop, it's time to bring in the tedders and the rakes. To fill us in on the Krone product line highlights, we're going to talk with Travis Roberts. Travis, please share some of the market trends you're seeing in these products.
Hey, Corey, thanks for having me today. Real excited to be here and be able to talk about these awesome products. As far as the tedders go, Traditionally we've seen tedders be used as a crop salvage tool. I need to get the tedder out if it rains or something like that. But we see more and more people are actually seeing the benefits of using a tedder as a crop improvement tool instead of just a salvage tool. And then with the rakes, we focus on rotary rakes at Krone, and the market is definitely trending to a more quality driven product. And, this gives Krone an advantage since quality has been our focus from the beginning. And, with as far as round balers go, it's the same old story, more capacity, more density. That's what everybody's after.
Most definitely. We have a video here that we can expand on what Travis was talking about here, and specifically about tedders and rakes. Let's go ahead and roll that video.
Yeah, so like I was saying, the tedders and rakes, they're one of our meat and potato products. The tedders really, they're bulletproof. We've had them for years. They've got a great reputation in the market. We've got some great sales features. As you see here, where we're pointing out on the video, we have an Octolink system. It's what we call it. It's a maintenance-free clutch system. It's a power transfer system. No more double universal joints that you've got to grease and maintain. We've got hydraulic uh, fold and tilt. Makes it very convenient. You don't have to get out of the cab every time you want to get through the gate or go down the road. That operator comfort's it's very important. Convenience is great. What we're going to show here is round tubular tine arms. So you see on the market, there's a lot with flat tine arms. We went with a tube design. We think the tube design is just a lot stronger. I mean, it can hold up to a lot. We want to get in the field early. We want to get in the field and move that wet crop. That wet crop is heavy at times, especially first cutting of the year. And those round tubular tine arms help hold up to that. And to pair with that, we use heavy duty tine arms. We've got tines themselves. The tines are the thickest on the market. You see, we wrap them around that round tine arm instead of bolting underneath. That makes them stronger. They're wrapped 5 times. Those tines also have one tine that's slightly shorter than the other. The reason we do that is because the rotors are pitched at an angle. And that slightly lower and longer tine gives us a cleaner sweep. What you saw there was the manual activation of what we call the central boundary control. On the bigger tedders, it's hydraulic, but on the small 552, it's a manual option. But that's really nice if you're going around a fence row, going around a pond. You don't want to throw that hay away. You don't want to throw hay over in the fence row and all that stuff. You can actually dog track that machine behind you and throw it away from those obstacles. So switching gears a little bit, we'll go over to the rakes and talk about our rotary rakes. So we've got this exclusive lift tine design, and that tine, instead of being straight, it's got a little hook at the end. That allows us to gain a little bit of speed in the field. It gives it a little lifting effect, so we've got more of a light, fluffy windrow to let that air flow through, and the crop can actually continue to dry down in the windrow. So you can see here, we have easily removable tine arms. So in the case that you do have to work on something or bend an arm hitting something or something like that, you can easily take those out and replace them. Again, we've got hydraulic width control, and we've got hydraulic fold on these machines. We also have different types of machines. We've got single rotor rakes, we've got double rotor rakes. Saw a double there. Double rotor rakes have been our largest growing market the last few years. They sell like hotcakes. We can't seem to keep them. Here we're showing the inside, the heart of the machine. This is what we call our Duramax cam track. This cam track is a dry track. It's not running an oil bath or anything like that. So there's no maintenance or gaskets or anything like that you have to worry about. And it's got a 3-year warranty on it. I get questions all the time about, well, do rotary rakes work well in rough terrain, stuff like that? Yes, I mean, we bring ours over with tandem axles, so that follows the ground a lot better than just a straight axle will. It really gives us a cleaner sweep of the crop. We've also got what's called the jet effect lift. So it's a little bit gentler on the field and it's gentler on the machine. What we mean by jet effect is if you think about how an airplane takes off and lands, when it takes off, the front wheels come up and then the back. And then when you land, it's just the opposite. The back wheels hit first and then we touch the nose down. We do the same thing here. It helps you get over that windrow at the end when you're making your turns. And, it was really gentle on the crop and the machine itself.
Well, thank you, Travis. That jet effect is pretty neat, and I'm sure the Krone engineers had to work quite diligently to get that to work, but it's impressive. I
Sure.
really enjoyed that video. And now that Travis, now that the hay is tedded and raked, it's time to bale. And so let's take a look at what Krone balers have to offer.
Sure. We've got, we're going to talk about two of our kind of bell cow machines in this video. I think we're going to talk about our new VariPack. VariPack is brand new. It's first belt baler that Krone has designed. It's got 4 endless belts, which gives us a little bit more capacity because we can push those belts a little bit harder. You don't have to worry about the alligator clips or the pins wearing out, maintenance on those. We can really put the pressure on it and get those densities that you really can't get with a laced type belt. It's really just stronger, durable. We went with 4. It's a good wide belt. I think what we're going to show here is the easy flow pickup. So easy flow pickup, you've got to get the crop into the machine to be able to bale it. That easy flow pickup is camless. There's no cam followers, no cam track. You don't have to worry about maintenance on it. There's a lot less moving parts, and actually, because we don't have those cam followers and stuff, we can spin it faster than you can a traditional style pickup. That increases our capacity. You can see we brought over US spec high flotation tires. These are 21.5 tires, so you can get these anywhere pretty much. But we wanted to go with the high flotation. It really helps with the ride through the field. If you have fields like we have down here in the South, we don't really have hay fields. We get hay from the pastures, so they're pretty rough. You can see here we've got quick close door. That's going to save you a lot of time. I mean, open and close in less than 5 seconds. That is a big deal. You're shaving off a couple seconds per bale, all day. That's going to save you some big time over the day and over the season. So this is really, really neat engineering they did there. Flexible density set in this machine. So we can actually, there's a cross section of the bale. We can change the density in each of those cross sections. If you want a softer core to let it breathe or to be able to spear it easier, you can do that. The next line we'll talk about is the Caprima balers. This is our traditional silage baler here. A big difference between this one and the VariPack is this is not a belt baler. A common part is this easy flow camless pickup. It's a little bit different, as you'll see here in just a minute. We still don't use any cam followers, anything like that. It's completely camless, but the tine arrangement is a little bit different. As you can see here, they're not in a straight line. We do that for a couple of reasons. It really divides the stress load, so you're not loading each bar at one time, and it really lets the crop flow. It tries to spread that crop out so that you get a nice even flow into the chamber through that feed rotor and cutter that we just saw. And this machine here does have knives as an option. It is a silage baler, so we can get that. Certain models come with 17 knives. We can also get a 26 knife option. We talked about the difference here. This is the Nova grip system. So this is how we keep the bale turning. You notice we're driven by drive belts on the outside, but we don't have a traditional belt baler style belt here. We're actually turning the bale with those metal slats. That allows us to grip it. It's a little bit heavier, a little bit more durable for these wet silage bales. We have a front load net system, and on some of these models we can run net or we can run plastic from the front. So if you're wrapping these bales, these silage bales, if you can run plastic on the front, you're going to save a lot on the back end whenever you go to use the wrapper on the back, or even if you're tube line wrapping, something like that, it's going to save you plastic in the long run. So we make the combi machines, and we have the solo machines like we're seeing here, and they're all variable style. You can change the bale size as you go along, anywhere from 3 foot, 5 foot. Some models you can even go up to 6 foot.
And Travis mentioned that model comes with knives, and certainly if you're feeding a dairy herd, those knives are important on a big bale, because once you put it in the total mix ration or that TMR mixer, it breaks up a heck of a lot easier. One of the things I would ask quick, Travis, you talked about camless and why, and the camless gearing. Why is that important, and why did you guys do that for the product line?
Well, like I said earlier, we're talking about market trends, and it's always about more capacity, or more density. that faster pickup allows you to pick up ground speed in the field. So if we can feed the crop into the bale faster, that's always going to be better. And the fastest way we could get it in there is to go away from that cam style pickup and actually have it directly driven and just be able to spin it. I think it's 33% faster than you can a standard cam style pickup.
That's impressive. And before we wrap up this section, Travis, are there any other items about the round balers that our viewers would like to learn today?
Well, what I'd like to tell everybody is this Varipack baler, it's brand new for it. We've been testing it for a long time here in the U.S., but this is the first year that we're actually selling them in decent numbers and releasing it to the public. So, we're kind of demoing these out. I know with COVID, it's kind of put a damper on things, but we are trying to aggressively demo these machines. So if we have anybody that's watching that's interested in seeing one of these run, go to our website. We've got a dealer locator there. Contact your local dealer. We've also got a 1-800 number on the website you could call, and you can get us your information, and we can see if we can get one of these machines out there to show you. Because this thing, I mean, it is great. We've spent a long time trying to get this thing right for the North American market. Belt balers is kind of specific for the U.S. market. That's where the most of them are sold in the world. And so we wanted to do it right and test right here. So this is really a German engineered baler for North American fields.
Well, thank you, Travis. And Brent and Travis are joining us from Olive Branch, Mississippi. And now we're going to go across the country to Twin Falls, Idaho, and welcome Ryan Hatfield to the program. And now that we're going to talk some more Krone baler news, and that news will talk about big pack large square baler line. Ryan, can you give us a snapshot of the large square baler market in North America and how Krone serves that market?
Sure can, and thanks for having us, and thank you for everyone out there taking time out of their busy schedule to join us on our webinar. Currently, we're in the middle of hay season, and luckily for us, at being a hay and forage manufacturer, that's kind of a good thing, and it keeps things really interesting out there. And to answer your question, Corey, over the past few years, the market for the large square baler has been pretty consistent. If anything, we've seen an uptick from the small square producer looking to move their way up into that large square baler market. And fortunately for us, we have a lot of things to offer for them. As my colleagues have mentioned previously before, people are wanting to get more done in a day. And all of these hay producers are looking to maximize their baling productivity and to significantly increase their number of acres being baled per day. So today we're also going to describe a few different items on the big pack large square baler. So why don't we go ahead and let's roll that video. So the Krone Big Pack Large Square Baler has been introduced for over 25 years now into the North American market. And over those 25 years, we have definitely seen a lot of different customers use the baler in many different operations across North America, including anywhere from a alfalfa operation, haylage, corn stalks, wheat straw, and even grass seed. Luckily for us, we do have a full range of big packs available, ranging anywhere from our Big Pack 890 lineup, which is a 3x3, all the way up into a 4x4. We do offer two unique specialty type of balers, that is our 870 and 1270 multi-bale. What's unique about this is that is able to take 9 small square bales and put it in a one large bale package, which is actually really efficient for the farmers that they are looking for today. Leading up into our HDP2. Now this Mac Daddy of an animal is geared towards the producer that is currently running a competitive high density type of machine or even a 4x4 out here in the West. And these guys are demanding the highest output with the simple goal of reducing the time spent baling and to produce those high density bales, especially in straw, that the Krone balers are known for. And then over the 25 years, Corey, we've actually extended our portfolio into our bale collect, bale accumulator. This is new in the last couple of years that ties easily into our ISO bus system with any model of our Krone balers. Depending on the model purchased, it can carry up to 3 bales or 5 bales seamlessly. Our large heavy-duty flywheel is the largest in the industry. With the hydraulic self-start kit, it can turn over that flywheel easily at 300 RPMs before engaging your main PTO, which is actually putting less wear on your drive shafts. The flywheel is also double clutch protected, so you can rest assured that both the tractor and the baler is being protected. After the flywheel is cranked over, we do offer a chainless drive system. It consists of drive lines and gearboxes instead of chains. So without having chains, there is no chain wear. With also having gearboxes and drive lines, there is no shear pins activating this machine while having those high throughputs constantly day in and day out. You can be sure that the gearboxes are rugged and reliable. Touching upon the EasyFlow camless pickup, as you guys had alluded to previously, it was actually first introduced on the Big Pack in 2005. And we did talk about that high throughput. And with 5 rigid tine bars, we're able to accomplish that with speeds of over 30%. Also with that, we were able to reduce our wear items by over 60%. In conjunction with our active pickup, we have the crop roller, wind guard, and power feed roller. So it will not matter with a heavy tonnage crop or light dry matter. It will be continuously get that crop into the pre-chamber. So as we are continuously baling, our throughput and capacity is a major thing that we pride ourselves on in the Big Pack lineup. And we do that with our variable fill system, otherwise known as the VFS. This is the heartbeat of the machine, and we do that by having 4 packer arms working simultaneously to build a consistent flake. Once that flake is met, a stuffer arm comes out and lifts that flake up into that chamber area. We have the VFS built especially for completing full flakes before they're lifted up there, which equals awesome bale shape and consistent bale density. The VFS is a simple and dependable system and has been exclusive in our Krone Big Packs, now going on for over 25 years. There are other, go ahead.
Go ahead. Ryan, you've discussed 4 points that are pretty unique. Are there some additional benefits to the operator?
Yes, there sure is. And luckily for us that there's several things that the Big Pack brings over into our market that are standard, which includes a hydraulic jack stand, tandem axles, steerable axles. We have LED lights for the twine box, up on the knotter rack, and for the lower needles. We do have some options such as moisture measurement, bale scales, and a multi-cut system with 26 individual knives so that the producer can choose their length of cut. We are also fully ISOBUS compatible that can run on any tractor virtual terminal. And currently with our CCI 1200, we offer multiple screen options. Rounding out our reasons for a high return on investment is our bale chamber hydraulic cylinders. With the Big Pack hydraulic cylinders, they provide pressure on the tops and the sides of the bale chamber. Depending on that model being purchased, you either have 3 hydraulic cylinders or up to 6, which create a consistent bale shape and in the end results in a higher bale density. So rounding out everything on our Big Pack lineup, you can see that we do offer quite a bit in a Big Pack lineup that can meet every need in today's hay producer to maximize that bale productivity and to cut down on other costs that the operation is looking for.
Thank you, Ryan. We're going to remind the audience here that you can go ahead and type in questions to the question panel, and our team here will sort through them. And at the last 15 minutes of the program, we will go through those. Ryan, I do have a question for you. These are some impressive videos. Can you give us an idea how fast those tractors are going when they're doing those baling operations?
Yeah, it depends on who you put in that tractor cab for sure. And working in conjunction, whether you have a high tonnage crop or a light dry matter, we try to shoot for a 1-to-1 ratio and to match the ground speed accordingly. And when you do that, Corey, you actually optimize the throughput and the capacity of our big pack square balers.
Well, thank you for that, Ryan. And can you tell us anything that might be on the horizon when it comes to the Krone large square baler line?
Yeah, I sure can. Be sure to check back with Pro North America coming up in this fall, as you will see a new look on our 3x4 1290 models and our high density press. And if we get around to the World Ag Expo in 2021, you'll be able to put your eyes solely on a new generation big pack being offered by the Krone Group.
Thank you, Ryan. We're going to move from Idaho and head back to Mississippi and call upon Brent Rains here. And we want to talk about Big X forage harvesters. Brent, what are the key trends you're seeing in forage harvesting in the market in general? Brent, you're on mute, so just hold on and start
Here
that
we
one
go.
over.
The biggest thing that the primary concern of any forage producer, any contractor, is to put top quality feed in the bunk, in the bunker, in the bag, in the whatever. You want to do present and process the crop in the most efficient manner possible.
Well, we've had some impressive videos today, and we have another one to share with our viewers, specifically about the Big X Forage Harvester. Let's go ahead and roll that video and hear more from Brent specifically.
Well, as we start talking about the family of Big X forage harvesters, we manufacture 9 different models and 19 different attachments for the Big X. We're talking about 6 pre-compression feed rolls, and this is our Veristream crop flow. As we go along through the way the crop flow works, you'll notice the drum bottom is flexible, and also the backing plate behind the accelerator. That's also spring mounted. You'll notice this difference when you're doing pickup work, when you're doing when you're chopping hay more so than when you're doing corn. So you're going to make a lot of differences there. And as far as when you get some of those big slugs and some of those unevenness in the windrow. Here we see a model 780 that's running in Ohio. Notice the crop is dry, and we're still able, and that's when forage is at its most difficult to blow, is when it's in that real gummy state that's right there. We start talking about chopping corn, and some of these corn varieties we have, they're 16, 17 feet tall, this giant corn. The solution to that, elevate your driver. Our exclusive lift cab moves up approximately 28 inches to give the driver, the operator, a view like a skybox that allows you to look down in the wagon or the truck that you're filling, and also over and see down into the corn rows. We talk about engines. We're using MTU engines on the smaller forage harvesters. We're using Liebherrs on the bigger family of forage harvesters. So we match the right engine that are all Tier 4 final for the maximum efficiency. As we go through the family of harvesters. Here we see our EasyCollect, our EasyFlow hay pickup. A lot of the drivers that are driving pickup, the pickup trucks, the chase trucks along the side, they'll comment on how quiet the things are. Camless, yes, all the features that Travis and Ryan talked about earlier, we incorporated those in the pickups first. Our operator station is ergonomically designed. The screen is touch screen. Everything is at a fingertip. So that you can operate efficiently and safely. Notice here our operator is picking up with an EasyFlow hay head, but notice he's got the cab lifted. The biggest thing it does is it quiets the cab down. By completely separating the cab from the machine, the decibels, the cab is incredibly quiet to begin with, but it brings it down even more. Another unique feature on our Big X family of forage harvesters is our rear suspension. There's no rear axle on a Big X forage harvester. We use a wishbone type suspension that gives you a 55-degree crimp angle. And for those forage harvester operators that make those headland turns, they'll appreciate the fact you can make a U-turn instead of a light bulb turn when you get to the end of the field. So that eliminates one more step when you're making the head. When we start moving from corn to grass, we can take that Optimax KP that's full width conditioning and move that back and forth quite readily. In about 20 minutes, we can go from corn to grass. You'll notice when it comes time to take the Optimax forage or the KP out of the harvester, no tools, no hoist, no cables. It drops down. Three dollies go on it, and that gives you the ability to move that processor, roll it right out of the way of the forage harvester. Another thing that's unique to the Krone family is what we call the Easy Load, which is an operator assist, and it's done via a camera system that's out on the spout that finds the outline of the truck or the trailer and helps the operator to load the truck more efficiently. When you've got 6, 8, 12, 14 rows of corn that's in incredible capacity coming at you, you've got a lot of things to do. So that easy load feature takes some of the burden off of the operator to make sure that you can max out every load of the crop when you're going through the field. You can also see here, how clean the crop is after the EasyCut corn head goes through the field. These have become legendary in the ability. They're non-denominational, any row spacing. I could plant corn and you'd still be able to chop it with an EasyCut corn head. It grabs that stalk, carries it across in the same position in the collector, and it always, always, always feeds in stem first. It always feeds in stem first. So we're eliminating a lot of that cross cutting that may occur with some other brands, and that also leads to better quality feed and a better pack. We've got a lot of interest in. We make a full range of EasyCut forage heads that go on competitive machines. So whatever color machine might be in your livery, might be in your barn at this time. We just had a call from a guy in Northern Illinois today, had a storm come through. He has a different color machine. He said, I need to be able to pick that corn up that we're concerned about standability. So he just ordered a new Krone EasyCut to go on his competitive machine. A lot of changes.
Certainly are, Brent. And before we wrap up this section and move to questions, can you share any other trends for our viewers when it comes to forage harvesters?
Well, one thing that we're noticing, more and more operators are making very precise decisions as far as sizing their machine. Instead of just going, let me see how big a machine, I want the biggest machine you've got. We want to make sure that we don't over capacity or under capacity. They want to make sure that they have the right size to make sure that their harvesting operation, from trucks, from transportation to packing to everything, is seamless and non-ending, that it just goes on and it's one big smooth operation. So a lot of guys are relooking, maybe considering a smaller harvester this time around.
Well, thank you, Brent. And thank you to your teammates, Travis and Ryan here, for going through the Krone hay and forage equipment line. Now we're going to take some questions here. And one of the questions that came in from one of our viewers, we're going to dovetail two of them together. It starts like this: how long has Krone been in North America? And perhaps more importantly, how do you ensure you can get parts from Germany over to the North American customers quickly? So Brent or Travis or Ryan, who wants to kick that one off?
Well, I've been here the longest, so I guess I'll start out with this one. We've been in North America for 47 years. Krone Company's been in business for 114 years, and we've been part of the American landscape, the North American landscape, since 1973. So we're starting to gear up for our 50th anniversary here.
Well, that's really cool. And so you have a system, a supply chain that easily gets parts to and from the dealerships and onto the farm. You've been doing it
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah, and to tie into what Brent just said, as far as being able to supply parts and service to our dealers and our customers, we've got several warehouses spread out throughout the U.S. Our main one is here in Olive Branch, Mississippi. We've also got another parts warehouse out in Reno, Nevada, to service our Western customers, and I think at any one time we've got about $18 million worth of parts sitting on the shelf ready to go. We've got extensive weekend and after hours parts lines that you can call and get stuff shipped just about any time of day. So we try to make sure that we've got our customers and dealers covered, because their downtime just can't happen. We've got to help out every bit we can.
So one of our viewers that was listening, and Travis, you touched on this a little bit here during your presentation, but we're going to go back there. And this viewer asked, do you do farm demos of rakes and tedders? If so, how do I get one scheduled? And then he's, I think there's really a twofold question there, how to get one scheduled in this pandemic, and how would you normally do that if we didn't have that going on?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the year. We have a kind of an anomalous year this year with the COVID, so it's hard to say exactly. During normal circumstances, you would go to your dealer, your local dealer, and talk to that person, and it is possible we do demos for rakes and tedders, but we try to hit the farm show circuit. There's several farm shows that do live demos, and we try to hit as many of those as we can to get in front of customers so they can come and see it. I know a lot of those are getting canned this year because of COVID, but we try to do that. We do heydays. We partner with our dealerships and we do heydays and live demos, customer events. So there's a plethora of things that we try to do to get these machines in front of customers. If a customer wants a specific demo or for a specific machine or something like that, or wants to see that, the best thing for them to do is, if we don't have one of those events available, is to look on our website, find our dealer locator, find your closest Krone dealer. If you can't use the website or can't have access to a computer or something, you can always call our 1-800 number, and the Krone support team will help you find your closest dealer and put you in touch with those guys, and they can usually make something happen for you.
Thank you, Travis. We're going to bundle this question together. We kind of anticipated it might come in. It's from an Illinois hay grower. He fights a huge amount of humidity and, of course, small cutting windows. What are some practices that he can implement to improve that productivity in each window? And then he goes on to ask, what's a better investment, a wheel rake or a rotary rake or a tedder? And so you want to grab that one. I think that's probably really geared to Travis.
Yeah, I can field that one. Well, it really starts from the beginning. If you're looking to speed up time, get your crop up as fast as possible, there's some simple things you can do right off the bat. But the easiest thing to do, or maybe not the easiest, but one of the things you could do is look into a mower conditioner. A conditioner, as opposed to a standard disc mower, is going to crimp the crop. Or if you're in grass hay and you're using a V-tine, it's going to kind of strip that waxy coating off the outside, allow some of the moisture to escape. So the faster you can get the moisture out of the crop, the better. The faster it's going to dry down, the faster you can get it back up. If you don't have a conditioner or not, you're kind of happy with your disc mower the way it's set up, then the next easiest thing you can do is add a tedder to your lineup if you don't already have one. That tedder is just going to turn the crop over, let some sun and air get to it, let it dry down a little bit faster. And I think you referenced something between a wheel rake and a rotary rake. A rotary rake is going to speed up your time, your dry down time, just because of the windrow formation. So with a wheel rake, you tend to see in some crops that it wants to rope a little bit, and so it's hard for that moisture to escape. A rotary rake is going to make a light, fluffy windrow, which allows the wind to get through it and continue to dry down. So there's a lot of things you can do to try to speed up your time. Of course, Mother Nature's going to do what she does. We've just got to try to adapt and overcome. But there's some mechanical things we can do and some tools we have that can help you combat that.
So this reader chimes in and says, great content. And he's, you talk about these small harvest windows and dealing with Mother Nature. And his question specifically comes into the Forage harvester category in North America. Do you see growers purchasing smaller horsepower units or larger ones? But what's really happening in the marketplace, and reason he's asking is trying to right size his forage harvester for the future of his operation.
Well, Corey, the one thing that like I mentioned earlier, guys are taking and doing a judicious examination of what size harvester they need specifically for their operation. We're finding a lot of customer-owned, maybe the dairyman doing just feed, is leaning towards a smaller size forage harvester. It depends. Are you doing the majority of your work going to be hay? Are you going to be doing pickup work, or is the majority of your work going to be done as corn silage or milo or another crop like that? The other thing is the bigger you go, that just makes the entire chain grow with it. More capacity, more tonnage means more packing tractors at the pile, means a bigger bagger, means more trucks. The other thing you've got to consider is that haul. How far is it from the field to the point of storage? And how fast can you cycle this thing back and forth? You've got an 1100, we manufacture the world's largest forage harvester at 1180 horsepower. Well, you can't maximize its efficiency if it fills 3 trucks and then sits there and waits for 15 or 20. So you want to make sure that you are, sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And, you want to make sure that you've have got the right size there. Consider, are you going to do any custom work? Are you going to be just specifically staying there? So there are a huge number of variables that have to go into the decision for what size harvester is right for me.
Brent, as a follow-up, you said the largest one is 1,180 horsepower. What sizes do they come in?
We manufacture from 480 horsepower all the way up to 1,180. That is 9 models. And then we also, on the attachment side, to make sure we have the right thing in front of that harvester, we've got 19 different machines that attach to the front of those forage harvesters.
Let's talk a little hay balers here. We'll kick this one over to Ryan and Travis, and I'm going to ask it just the way the viewer, asked it, but I think we're going to talk a little bit about trends when it comes to balers. So his question is, why do North American customers prefer a belt baler versus a chain or bar type? So why don't you talk about the trends? Maybe this person is correct or not, but what are you seeing in the marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, why people do what they do and why they think what they think. I think a lot of it is the belt baler was developed over here, and people are used to running that style of baler. Predominantly, we do dry hay, at least in the areas that I'm familiar with in the South, Southeast, where the belt baler market is the strongest. It's predominantly dry hay, which means we're getting the moisture down, 13-15% before we bale it. And a belt baler does fine at that. You don't need really the added capacity of a silage baler like we use with the bars and slats and stuff like that on our other models. We are a European-based company, and over there, the way they do hay is a lot different. They can't string 3 dry days together to save their life, so they've got to bale everything up wet and do balage. And obviously they're very dairy focused, and you tend to see that in the U.S. Anywhere where we're dairy focused, you see early adapters, and those guys are looking for more efficiency, and they're looking at things like bale silage, those types of things. In the Southeast, we've got a lot of beef cattle guys, and they're usually a little bit slower than the dairy guys as far as looking at efficiency and stuff like that. Dry hay's got us along for a long time, and it'll keep being there for a long time. So I think that's kind of why the belt balers have taken hold in the U.S. and kind of are king. There's a place for everything, so that's why we've decided it was high time for us to come along with our own version of belt baler and try to adapt and sell into that market a little.
Ryan, the next question is for you. Many hay customers in my area are looking for small square bales for ease of handling on their part. What would be the best big pack multi-bale configuration to give this customer a product that they are accustomed to handling?
Well, we do offer those two multi-bale type of balers out there, Corey, and that's an 870 or a 1270. They both each offer all the same benefits that we talked about earlier and are both capable of building the 9 small squares into one large package. The only difference between an 870 and a 1270 is actually the size. So when you're in an 870 model, you're more closer and geared towards that 3x3 area, where a 1270 is bumping it up a little bit, also in the weight category of a 3x4. So either one of those machines that they're comfortable with will do the same thing. And again, it's cutting down on a lot of different things. They're gaining the capacity and the efficiency, but they're replacing those small square bales and everything else that is associated with handling those things.
Thank you, Ryan. We're going to do a couple rapid fires here, some real specific product questions. One question, it's going to go to Travis. Do you have any twin rotor rakes for front 3-point mount tractors?
No, we don't. Right now, all of ours are rear mounted 2-point machines. So we don't have anything for the fronts of tractors yet. So
another viewer writes in, is the hydraulic motor on the Flywheel 890 available to retrofit on a 2013 model? So is there, it's more specifically 2013 89 XP. That probably he's got to check in with the dealer on that one, because that's pretty specific. But
that's a pretty specific question there, Corey, but yes, it is available. They'll have to go through their dealer channel there, which can get in contact with our Krone support group down there in Olive Branch and the headquarters there, and it can be available. There is a kit to install.
Thank you. Here's another question. Does Krone round balers and large square balers have the ability to control a tractor speed in order to optimally fill a bale chamber, wrap, and kick out the bale? So talk about that process and how that looks like in the field.
So on the round baler side, we do have something that's called tractor implement management. It's not very prevalent here in the United States yet. Our main tractor brands here aren't really, it's really hard to say. They have their own versions, and they try to keep it, we operate on an ISO-bus system, which means we try to play with everybody, but not everybody wants to play with us sometimes. So there are certain manufacturers out there that we can use the tractor implement management on, and with a round baler, what that would entail is the tractor would control when the baler goes. It would stop the tractor. The baler would tell the tractor when to stop, when to put the net wrap on. It would open and close the tailgate for you, and then you would manually start the tractor yourself. Just for safety reasons, we don't want tractors driving off on their own. So you do have to start the process back up every bale, but as far as the rest of it goes, it's all automated. The baler tells the tractor what to do. I mean, you'll have to weave back and forth a little bit for your fill system, but as far as stopping the baler and dumping the bale and all that stuff, the baler can tell the tractor to do all that. But right now it's very limited. We're kind of at the precipice of it. It's very new, and there's not a lot of manufacturers in the U.S. right now that are playing with our system. So,
this is probably a bigger picture here, because we're getting some questions in on specific product lines, and I think I'd really encourage people to check in with their dealer on a very specific product. But let's talk about the thought process, at least here. So this question comes in from a northern Kentucky farmer who grows orchard grass, clover, and fescues, and he says his crop can get thick at times, and he doesn't run a conditioner. He currently is using an older Krone AM 241 disc mower with a 7-foot, 10-inch cut, and he's got it matched up with a nearly new KW 5.2 tedder. But outside of those products, and thinking that he's in Kentucky, talk about the thought process here. If he's looking to upgrade his mower next year, what he should think about that. Should he think about a mower with a 1-pass cut or a 2-pass cut? And how do you right size a mower for a farm in all the field conditions?
It's really going to depend on what the guy wants to do and what he's trying to accomplish. I mean, in this specific instance, he's wanting to know if he upgrades his mower, will it work with his tedder, I'm guessing. So if he's running a 552, he's got an 18-foot coverage. So he's going to be fine if he goes up to, say, an AMR 280, has a 9-foot cut. You may be able to go a little bit bigger and go to a 320 as well. I don't think you'd have a problem at all going to a 10-foot cutter and being able to, with your overlap and all of that, be able to pick up both windrows with that tedder and spread it out. So more broadly, it's just going to depend from case to case. I mean, it'd be better if we could have everybody call us or the dealer and explain their situation, and then we can kind of write a specific prescription for what they need. But for this guy, it sounds like a 320 or a 10-foot cutter would work well if he's looking to upgrade.
Corey, one thing that will be critical for this decision for this customer is the size of his tractor. His horsepower that he has available, and also has it got a loader? Is it front wheel drive? Because if it's like most places I've been in Kentucky, he's either going to be going up a hill or down a hill, and so he needs to make that decision. What kind of how much horsepower, how stable is his platform, and then also he'll have to make the decision: do I want to stay with a conventional 3-point mower that folds up, or do I want to look at a pull type mower and go that route? So horsepower and tractor size are going to be two of his most important things there.
Can you go through, so a viewer asked a question that's very specific about whether or not Krone has a 13-foot 6-inch mower with conditioner and endwise transport. But why don't you just talk through the sizes of the mowers, and the endwise is obviously helps with transport.
We have 3 sizes that we saw in the video earlier that have, well, we saw 2 of the 3. We have a 13-foot, we have a 16-foot, and we also have a 20-foot with endwise transport. The 20-foot model is called a model 6210. It is available in CV conditioning only. When we get down to the EC 400 and C500, which are 13 and 16 foot respectively, they are available with no conditioning. They're available with steel on steel rolls. They're available with V-tine conditioning, and they're also available with rubber rolls there. So there's a variety of ways you can go. Everything's done from the tractor cab. There's no get out. You don't have to unhook anything or change any levers or anything like that. Fold up and go, and you're 9 feet wide when it goes down the highway. And the farther, when you get, a lot of my territory is in the northeastern United States, and it seems like the farther east you get, the narrower the roads get, and the longer the lines get behind a piece of farm machinery that's going down the road. So safety's foremost, and if you go from a 16-foot mower, instead of wiggling it down the road, playing mailbox roulette, maybe your insurance guy will give you a break if you go to a Krone ECTC.
I appreciate the humor because it sometimes is mailbox roulette. Real quick question here as we approach the end of our broadcast. What size tractors do you need, like on the very pack baler or even the large square balers, Travis and Ryan?
I'll start with the round balers and work our way up there. So again, it's subjective. It's going to depend on the age of the equipment. It's going to depend on your conditions. Are you in flat land or are you in hills? You need a lot less horsepower if you're on flat land than you do to need to pull something up a hill. So and sometimes it comes down to mass instead of horsepower in some cases. With these older tractors, you've got a lot more mass, so you can kind of get away with a little bit more because you can stop the baler a little bit easier when the tractor weighs more. But for the Varipack specifically, since it's new, so we have 2 sizes. We have a 4x5.5, and we also have a 4x6 and some change. I think it makes a 74-inch bale. The 4x5.5 is probably going to be around 90 PTO horsepower. Would be like a minimum horsepower on it, or you can run it on that fine. Always more is better in my opinion. If you got them, use them. And on the 4x6, I'd say about 110. But as long as you're in that 100 horsepower ballpark, you're going to be able to run it. And again, it's still going to depend on the crop conditions and your hills and stuff like that. So.
And Ryan, real quickly, with the big square balers.
Yeah, we're going to definitely bump up into a different horsepower category than what a normal round baler customer is used to. So on the bottom end, we're around that 150 horsepower range, and that only increases as you get up into the larger baler models that we offer. And typically on the high end, we have a lot of 300 horsepower tractors on our 4x4s or HTP2s or other high density press balers that we manufacture. One thing to keep in mind, we do have the optional multi-cut, and if you run a knife system in either a round baler or a square baler, it's going to require a little bit more horsepower, ranging anywhere from about 30 to 50 horsepower.
Well, an hour goes by quickly here. We have a number of questions from that are still yet to be answered, and we'll answer those offline. Our expert team will do that. And I want to thank our viewers for joining us for KronExpo 2020. All our viewers will be receiving a follow-up email with more information on the Krone product line. And I want to say a special thank you to Brent, Travis, and Ryan for joining us today. I really appreciate your insight. And I'd like to end by saying I hope all our viewers have a great day. They stay healthy during this pandemic, and now go out and make some hay. Have a great day, everyone.
Stay safe.